In honor of National Martini Day, we thought we'd take a closer look at this iconic cocktail and see what makes the martini so marvelous. Joining us to discuss is Brent Lamberti, Elit by Stolichnaya, National Brand Ambassador. Brent, welcome. Great to have you here.
Hey, Tanya. So good to see you again.
Thank you for bringing the martinis.
Of course, of course. Well, let me be the first to wish you a happy Martini Day.
Well, thank you so much. Give us a little background on the martini. What's the history?
You know, like most things involving alcohol, it's got a muddy background. People don't tend to write things down as they're drinking. So we know it came from the late 1800s, early 1900s, probably started with gin. And in the 1970s, well, late 60s, early 70s, it really took off with vodka.
Gotcha. Now, of course, we know that James Bond has immortalized it. Shaken, not stirred.
Exactly.
Is that really the way you're supposed to make a martini?
You know, the thing about martinis that's what I love about them is that you could customize them. So here we have olives. Maybe you want it dirty. Maybe you want yours just shaken straight up with a twist. I like a Gibson with some onions. It's really up to the person that's drinking it. I don't think there's any wrong way to drink a martini.
So other than James Bond, though, who are some of the famous people in history?
Well, besides you and I.
Yeah, right.
'Cause I know we were drinking them yesterday.
That's true.
You know, every great writer, whether it was F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, Dorothy Parker, they all enjoyed martinis, just like regular people today.
They have something to say about it. Now, maybe you can weigh in on the gin versus vodka controversy.
Sure. You know, I think with anything, there's always going to be evolution, whether it's food, whether it's drink. I have no problem with gin in my martini, but I do love Elit by Stolichnaya. And when you are making a martini, I think your ingredients are super, super important because you're basically drinking the spirit almost straight, just very chilled in a glass.
And you've given me here the classic, and you have a dirty,
I have a dirty. It's a little early for me, so I'm going to take the edge off with a little olive brine. I figured you can handle this straight up.
So what goes into the perfect martini?
So obviously, Elit by Stolichnaya vodka. We put a dash of vermouth in there. Now, you may like it a little more wet, a little more dry. Some like it bone dry with no vermouth, and you have a lemon twist.
Okay.
I have a little bit of olive juice.
All right, cheers. Let's take a taste.
Cheers.
Tell us about the history of the glass shape.
You know, the glass shape has an interesting history. These are Art Deco martini glasses, but the original coupe was actually modeled after Marie Antoinette's breast.
Interesting.
Yes,
really?
yes.
Wow, she had a very pointy breast there.
Well, like I said, these are the Art Deco ones. So if you see them more like champagne coupes,
right, they
were the original martini glass or cocktail glass. These have evolved.
So what about the shaken versus stirred? You know, I know there's a little bit of...
So both are going to add dilution. I think what shaken does is give a little more mouthfeel. If you want it silky smooth, I'd suggest stirring it. If you want a little more air bubbles, a little more tingle in your mouth, shake it.
All right. Well, this one is shaken or stirred?
That one for you is shaken.
All right, shaken. Well, cheers. Thank you so much, Brent.
Cheers. So good to see you again.
So good to see you, and happy Martini Day.
Martini Day. Cheers.